Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Happy. This is your boy Cool Groove. Now, if you're familiar with this channel, if you've actually seen my last 80 videos, I do video games. Well, I've been doing video games now since March, April. You know, I got a nice amount of subscribers, but I don't have the views. And so here, this last month or so, I have been trying to revamp, trying to find my identity on YouTube, trying to be different, spontaneous. You know, I went from being nothing but NASCAR Heat 5 every day, all day, and I was like, no. So I went to doing, spreading it out. And I thought, why not try to do a reaction video? Now, I am a substitute teacher. And I, for the fear of my job, have wanted to avoid what we're going to be talking about today, what I'm going to be doing my reaction to. But as a lover of history and the educator in me, it actually literally kept me up last night saying, I gotta try it, it's just, and see how it goes. I may do a couple more, but here's goes. Now, if you can see my screen, I'm still trying to learn how to get this set up. I am doing a reaction to a podcast interview by the group called Trigonometry, a play on words of trigonometry, but it's Triggernometry, because everyone gets triggered now. You gotta watch what you say because someone may get triggered. Our society has gone into we're one big happy bunch of Karens. And they're interviewing this guy named Sam Harris. And they were talking about Trump, religion, and wokeness. Well, until I watched the Jimmy Dore show, I had never heard of this guy. And so, if you trust Wiki, Sam Harris was born in April 9th, 1967. He claims to be a philosopher, an author, and a podcast host. He works and touches on a wide range of topics, including rationality, religion, ethics, free will, neuroscience, meditation, blah, 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 politics, terrorism, AI, and he's most famous for being a criticism of religion and Islam. He is Richard Dawkins without the wheelchair. He thinks he's smart, and he's an atheist. Hey, that's between him and me. I'm not going to make fun of him for being an atheist because I believe in God. That's him. But the fact that he makes a living off of making fun of Christians is that's not very rational. And when he talks about free will, if you've seen this interview, he's anything but rational, and he's anything but for free will. Free will is, I have the free will of doing this video. No one has a gun to my back of my head. At least I hope not. Let me look behind me. Nope, there's no one there. Telling me I have to do this or I can't do this. Now, there's a possibility if I do this video, whether I say something vulgar and rude and outright offensive, I could lose my job, I could lose my stuff, but that is what it is. I'm not going to be vulgar. I'm not going to if the words I say is offensive, I'm trying to say this as nice as possible. If your opinion is challenged and you can't grasp that someone doesn't agree with you, that's on you, not me. You know, I can have someone sit down and talk to me all about how great and wonderful it is to be woke, a Democrat, a liberal, whatever, and I won't get offended. I won't yell, scream, and call you names, which all you got to do is go through YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter to see when someone on the left is ideologue and their agenda and everything they stand for is questioned and challenged, and 9 times out of 10 with facts, they shut you down by calling you a racist, and they don't care what color of skin you are. They're going to call you a racist if you don't believe with them. And if you're a person of color, specifically of African descent, you're an Uncle Tom. Not knowing that Uncle Tom helped free and risked his life for them. That's like when someone says we need to get rid of Mount Rushmore and Abraham Lincoln's on there, who he was the guy who freed the slaves. But that is a reaction to another story. I can only handle one goofball, Sam Harris, at a time. I may or may not ever deal with Jalen Rose. I just want to get my footing. So this is who Sam Harris is. An atheist, liberal. And why are we talking about him? So I'm going to be quiet for here a second. And I'm going to see if I can get my audio to do just right, so you can hear something.
Capacity to be offended is not something that anyone need or should respect in you.
You were calling for Twitter to shut down Trump's account, and
Yeah.
were happy that it happened.
Yeah.
That's a very different position to pretty much everybody else. Why did you take that position?
Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view. That's
All right, so right there. This is what got me triggered. All right, so if you don't know, let me pull up over here. Donald Trump University, or Trump University, was the Trump Wealth Institute, Trump Entrepreneur, an American company that ran real estate and trading program from 2005 to 2010. Apparently, it wasn't really legit, wasn't really effective, and as we could see back in this video, pays $25 million in a Trump University settlement. And as we saw in 2010, Trump University has become debunked. And here, this guy, who, by the fact that, if you heard it, was being excited that Twitter violated Donald Trump's civil right to freedom of speech by deleting him from the platform. That's an argument for another day. He was excited. And then he has the cojones to come back and say that Donald Trump University was a bigger scandal than Hunter Biden's laptop. What's in it? Let me say that again, calmer, slower. Trump University is more criminal than Hunter Biden's files on his laptop. me take it. Okay, what is in Hunter Biden's laptop? Well, pictures of him in sexual acts with females of various ages, and it is believed that some are minors. Pictures of him doing drugs, and I mean not Mary Jane drugs, I mean crack, coke type drugs. Oh, and there is files on there exposing the fact that Joe Biden knew about his business dealings in the Ukraine and China, how because his daddy was the VP, he got put on as a drug addict. And I'm not making fun of, if he's got a problem, get help. But he's being elected to these boards all because his daddy's the VP. Okay, that is wrong in so many levels. And he goes on further. This is an hour and a half interview, and I'm not going to go over it bit by bit. We all got better things to do. But if you were listening to if you were paying attention to the elections in 2020, when news broke out that Hunter Biden was so strung out on drugs, he took his laptop to a computer repair shop and then forgot he left it there. The guy turns it into the FBI, and they censor anyone who was trying to report about it. They censored it. This guy right here is for that. Why? Well, I should have been more prepared. I'm sorry, this is my first one, and I was excited and spur of the moment. He goes on to say, basically, that because it was his side in charge, it benefits his side, that he's okay for it. He's okay for censoring. He's okay for all the criminal acts. He's okay with lying to the people as long as it benefits the political left. If it that doesn't matter if it's at the expense of our freedoms, because he thinks it's for the greater good. We should censor Donald Trump. We should censor his news articles for trying to release the truth instead of cherry picking what stories they release. Why is this a big deal? Okay, let's go back further. 2016, Trump would get the audience in a frenzy. Lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, because of the criminality of what was behind Hillary Clinton. She deleted, what was it, 33,000 plus emails. She destroyed her server. She had her own private server with classified documents in her home. FBI didn't do squat, but they raided Mar-a-Lago because he had some stuff there that, come to find out, because of his executive privilege, he was allowed to have it. And he was working with them. They were just doing that political hit job. And again, I'm going off in a tangent there. If you paid attention and saw the distraughtness of the left, the girl on her knees saying, why? Not my president. Before he was even inaugurated, crying for an impeachment. What would have happened that the day after Trump was inaugurated and the party and everything, the festivities over, he went and raided Donald Trump. Donald Trump would have raided Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. You would have people like Sam Harris saying, "Oh, he's being a third world dictator. He's trying to arrest his political opponents." And it would come off that way, even for me, who likes to lean right. I'm more of a conservative independent. I hate both parties, if you want to be all completely honest. To me, I would have preferred Ted Cruz over Donald Trump, but that was just my opinion. But here we have it now that the Democrats are in power. They're raiding Donald Trump. They're even going after Black Lives Matter people, because there's a story, I would have to look it up, in Jacksonville. A Black Lives Matter group supported this one candidate that the establishment didn't like. He actually got 2% of the vote, and the FBI went and investigated him to try to shut them up, because they're so desperate for the midterms to come around in a couple months that they're trying to make sure they got every vote possible. Because they know, and Liz Cheney shellacking in Wyoming a couple of days ago, 37 points, or was it 47 points, that she lost by. She's a rhino, which is, if you don't know, is a Republican in name only. Later on in this video, he talks about, well, it wasn't a conspiracy because Liz Cheney was involved. Doesn't matter that she claims she's a Republican. It was still a conspiracy. He actually claims that this was a left-wing conspiracy to get rid of Trump. Let's play a few more minutes.
It's like just
I'm talking way too much.
That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency.
See right there.
Absolutely it was. Absolutely. But I think it was warranted.
But Sam,
But you can't do that, son. You've got to be fair.
See right there. He says it was left-wing, and he said it was okay. It was okay to censor Donald Trump because he's not on their side. But had he done it to them, no. You can't do that. I would have to say it had to have been when George W. Bush ran for presidency. Something snapped in our society to where the left have become more bold in their criticism and their outright attacks on the American people and the Republican Party. Now, like I said, I hate both parties. And one, because I think they're spineless cowards who are more worried about getting the media to like them, knowing full well that the media will never like them except maybe Fox. And they set the African American people back literally 50 to 75 years in progress when they compromised with the Democratic Party after the Reconstruction era, so they can get some stupid, meaningless bill that I can't even remember the name of now passed. And that compromise was the Union troops were going to pull out of the South. And part of it is that, yeah, we're in America. We don't need troops walking the streets like they do in foreign countries. But during the Reconstruction era, African Americans were holding office. They were voting. And in the moment, and they had jobs, good jobs, decent jobs for that time period. Reconstruction officially ended. Union troops pulled out. Democrats take back over, and guess what happens? We have serfdoms. We have sharecroppers. People were no longer allowed to vote. We had segregation. We had the Jim Crow laws. We had not the Nazi Party. We had the Ku Klux Klan, all founded by Democrats. don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. So this is the thing. This is a thought exercise. I'm telling you my opinion. If you don't agree with me, write your comments below. Hit the subscribe button. And tell me why. Show me facts. Not just because of your feelings. You just feel that it was wrong. I want concrete evidence. If I can read your evidence, then I'm right. I'll say I'm wrong. Okay? It's just that simple. And I could do it civilly. I won't yell. I won't scream. I'm done talking to you. And that's my impersonation of a guy who was holding a sign, arrest Trump outside of Trump Towers in New York City. And he said provable crimes. And when they asked him, what provable crimes has Trump ever done? He couldn't name one. But if the Democrats walk this road of censorship, intimidation, I've had this thought now for I'm 42 going on 43 years old, and I've had this thought ever since the second Bush's administration. I was not afraid of the Democrat Party and what they were going to do. I know they're radical lefts, most of them on there. There's some good Democrats. But I knew they were going to push the bar as far as they can get it. But I wasn't afraid of that because I knew it. I was expecting it. I knew that was going to happen. My fear was the Republicans. You look at in the pendulum, it goes back and forth. You got Democrats pushing that pendulum all the way to the left. Well, the moment the Republicans push it all the way back, and they will if they don't rig the elections in 2024 like they did in 2020, and that's again my personal opinion, is what are we going to expect as soon as these Congress and senators are sworn in? We're going to go through another impeachment process, this time with Joe Biden. We're going to have a complete overhaul of the FBI, which is needed. And it's going to go back the other way. Because both sides have lost their center. It's either for us or against us. And we're Americans, we're humans. We're going to have different opinions. But we need to work together. We don't have that no more. And it's sad that you can't sit down with a person and not have them getting upset. And it's all because of the way society is. We're so desperate to be anti-God, anti-right, anti-this, anti-that, that if we're not standing for something, we're going to fall for everything. And if you look at all these riots that the left has done, they have no unification. It's like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And most of it is just, if you look at it, they're just a bunch of spoiled kids who don't want to work for anything. They just want everything handed to them. And here we got this guy who claims to be smart, and maybe he is, but he's saying the quiet things out loud where he wants censorship. That's where they're heading. But we can't have that. I don't want censorship from the left. I don't want censorship from the right. I want us to be able to have a conversation without a bunch of people getting their feelings hurt and crying and having their jobs and their careers destroyed because someone got their feelings hurt. In 2016, Herman Cain had to bail out of the presidential election because he was getting a lot of popularity. He had a lot of supporters, and he had people coming out saying, "Oh, he made me feel uncomfortable." Did he touch? No, he just made me uncomfortable. And they rose a big stink over that when Bill Clinton, you had women able to identify certain characteristics of Bill Elliott's body that only his mom, God, and his wife should know about. But we were supposed to say, no, it doesn't matter. He's an adult. They're adults. They can do whatever they want. So, I'm going to end this. I think I've rambled a little bit, but we can't have censorship on either side. We need to come back to the middle, work together, because it's going to be just pure chaos if we don't. And if we don't, this is just going to get worse. But tell me what you think. If you think I'm full of it, I'm full of it. But again, all this is my opinion. And you can agree or disagree with me all you want. And I'm not going to get upset. You know, and if you have to call me names and you have to yell and scream because I'm wrong in your opinion, you already lost the argument. You know, if you can't have a civil discourse with someone, then is your side really that superior? Because if your side was so superior, you shouldn't have to yell or scream about it. You should be able to show me facts. Concrete evidence that your side is right. And I'm sorry to Democrats, and I have a lot of people that are that, and I love them to death. Do I agree with them on everything? No. Do I agree with them on some things? Probably. But if you have to yell and scream, and all of a sudden you feel hurt and devastated that someone doesn't agree with you, is your side really that? If your side is so right, you should have the confidence that no matter whether or not someone disagrees with you, it shouldn't send you into a mental state of despair. And on that note, I'm your boy Cool Groove. I know this isn't a video game. This is just me doing a reaction to literally 43 seconds of an hour and a half video. And I know I rambled. I'm a talker. I got the gift of gab. If you like this, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment below if you want more of these videos. If you like my videos and don't want me to do reactions, leave a comment below. But until I get views, until I get the comments, I'll keep doing a little bit of both. And on that note, I will see you guys next time.